I'm going to now show you all how to do a budget versus actual with quite a bit of customization in it, right? We're going to start off with our profit and loss report, and I'm going to start off with me being in January and just going to run it for the month of Jan. No filtering, no comparison, and I'm just going to click on update. Okay, so it's my actual report for the month of January. So I have to then click on edit layout because then I want to customize this report. So keep in mind that because this is a new customization, everything that I would have done maybe in my previous customizations won't pull through in here. So I'm just going to manually fix these things. So I'm going to move the interest income just as a refresher. I clicked on it and then I'm going to drag it down to other income. I'm not going to do anything with the categorization of expenses and stuff. So I'm going to keep it as standard. So here we've got the month of January. I now want to add in some columns. So the first one that I want to add in is I'm going to do the budget. So what budget am I pulling in? So you'll see on the right-hand side, I've got to tell Xero. So I'm going to keep mine as the overall budget. Then under the date range, I have to tell Xero, what do I want to pull in? So I just want to pull in for the month because that's my first comparison that I want to do. And then I'm going to say it's the overall budget for the month. Okay. So the reason I've said that and not said January is because every month as we build this report, the month you'll change. But if I don't change the heading name, it will stay January the whole year round. So I'm making sure that mine says overall budget for the month. Okay, then I want to look at how has my actual results versus my budget for the month look like. So I'm going to add in a column to work that out for us. So if we click on columns, and then I'm going to call it variance. I'm going to click on that. And then I have to tell Xero, what am I working out the variance between? So I want my first column to be my overall budget for the month. And I want my second column to be the actual results for the month. And this is going to be variance, budget versus actual, and it's just for the month. Okay. And I click out of it, and that's there. So at the moment, if I have to look at what my report looks like, it's basically taking the month's transactions versus the budget for that month, and it's working out a budget versus actual. Now, if I want to work out, okay, how am I doing as an organization against my overall budget, right? So I'm going to now add in the budget, and I want to add in the budget for the financial year. Okay, why am I doing this? Because I'm going to use this column and then I'm going to use my budget year to date to work out what budget is left over. So this is going to be 2025 overall budget, and this is for my year. Okay, and then I close that. Now I want to add in another budget. So here I need to tell Xero, what am I bringing this in? So I want this to be for my year-to-date budget, right? So why do I want this? Because I'm going to use this to do my calculation. So this is going to be budget year to date, and then I click out, and that's there. Now I want to work out what is my remaining budget for this organization, right? So I'm going to go and click on columns, and then I'm going to click on formula because I want to calculate this in Xero. So in my heading, I'm going to change this so I can double click there and edit it, or I can change it in the column heading block. And this is going to be budget remaining. Okay. Now to do the calculation, you can see there's a formula box that's here. I click on insert, and what am I calculating? So I'm going to take the 2025 overall budget for the year minus, and I click back on insert, my budget year to date will give me my remaining budget. Okay. So you could stop here, and this could be your report that you're working on. But if you want to work out your budget remaining versus what is your actual cost to date, you can actually add that in. So I'm going to click on column, and I'm going to add in a column, right? So I'm using the date column as the thing. And in here, you'll see it's got the month, right? So I need to tell Xero what range do I want, and I want year to date. Okay, and this would be year to date actual. Okay, and if I now wanted to compare my budget year to date versus my actual year to date, I can even do that as a formula, right? So I can go in and I can add in a column again. So I'm going to do it as a formula column, and I'm going to say variance budget versus actual year to date. We could do that. Or if we want, I'm just thinking now, maybe I want to actually compare what is my budget remaining. So we've got our year-to-date actual report in here. So you can see at the moment, I've got this column called untitled, right? So say I'm not too sure what I want to do as yet, and I want to delete this column. I can actually just click on the little trash and it will delete the column, right? So now I got to think, okay, what is it that I want to do with my budget? So I can leave it as is, where I've got the month's results, I've got the budget for the month, and I've got the variance for that month between the budget and the actual. And then I've got the budget for the year, and then I've got the budget year to date, and it's showing me my remaining budget. If I wanted to say, okay, right, my remaining budget versus my year to date actual, and I want to bring in a variance between those, I can. And all I would do is I would click on column and I will click on formula, right? And in here, I'm going to say I want my budget remaining minus my actual year to date, right? And I'm going to call this as variance budget remaining minus actual year to date. Okay, and I click on it, and this is my report. Okay, so you can go in and you can reorder things. You can edit it. So this is what the report is going to preview like. So if I'm happy with it, I'm going to click at the top here and I'm going to click on update layout. And you'll see this is my report now. This is what it's showing me. It's showing me January as a month versus the budget for January. How am I comparing against that? Then it's showing me my overall budget for the year and what is my budget year to date and how much do I have left over and how much have I incurred so far. And this is what's basically left over available in terms of my budget versus my actual year to date. And I would then save this as a custom report. And I'm just going to say budget versus actual version 2 because I've got a few versions there, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, and if we open up now, you'll see I've got many custom reports on mine. I've got 4 custom reports in here. If I wanted to now basically run this report, say for the next month, right? So if I go February, so I'm going to go the 1st of February to the 28th of February. And if I click on update, you'll see that it's now going to show me February's results versus February's budget. And then it's going to show me basically my year to date, which is Jan and Feb versus my budget year to date and whatever's remaining on my budget. Okay. And you can then export this. So all you would do is you would select the specific month. If you want to now go in and say, okay, I want this report for a specific project, you can actually go in and filter then on the project, and then the report would now change. Sorry, I need to click on update. It would now change for that specific project. Obviously, in my file, I don't have too much information in it, but this is what would work for you. Okay, and that's how you can do a custom report with budget versus your actual.